Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Raidhyn's Roguelike Roulette. We are here with This War of Mine, a game that I have previously done Let's Play of, but I wanted to make sure that I included it in the Roguelike Roulette. Now, this is a little bit different from normal roguelikes. There's not a lot of bullets flying around, there's not any dungeon crawling, but the game still features a heavy permadeath element and a bit of randomness. So I really wanted to include it in this series as it is part of the reason why the series was spawned. Played this one night on my stream and a lot of people really seemed to like it. So this War of Mine is a game where you play as a group of survivors in a war-torn city, and you basically have to make sure that they can stay alive for as long as possible. I believe the end of the game is somewhere around day 50 or so. And to keep them alive, you have to give them food, shelter, you need to scavenge for supplies, and let's go ahead and read the intro narrative here. War has been raging for countless months, and the besieged city has been reduced to a sea of ruins by constant shelling. Going outside during daylight is like inviting snipers to target practice. Everything is in short supply, and what little aid reaches the city is seized by the most ruthless and best armed. Few residents were lucky enough to flee. The unlucky ones, like Zlata, Sveta, Anton, and Pavel, who missed the last refugee convoy, are left to fend for themselves. Ordinary people with no survival skills, huddling in the ruins, relying only on each other to survive. So, now that we are here, this is basically the home base for this War of Mine. Everybody has a different background and opinions on things, but before we dive into all this stuff, I'm just going to have everybody scavenge up all the different piles and things that are available. It looks like Sveta's sick, so we're going to have her go ahead and lay down once we can get a bed built. Basically, the game rotates between people management and during the daytime here, and then food management at night, kind of making sure that or not food management at night, during the night sending somebody out to scavenge for more supplies. It kind of rotates through the two. And during this day part, you can come in here and kind of make different stuff. You can, have different scavenging elements happen. But one of the first and most important things that we need is we need to make beds for everybody, because the beds are very important. When one of your characters gets sick, you need them to have solid bed rest. So let's go ahead and place one of the beds up here. Meanwhile, Pavel can go ahead and start picking up all the different stuff that we have available in the house. So, yeah, this game, it's, as you can tell, it's a little bleak. It's a little bit on the dark side. It's one of those games, I think, that is really well done because of the fact that it's tackling this story subject that's just so much more compelling than all the atypical war games, or all the typical war games that we get, where like war is this glorified thing that for some reason everybody seems to be so fascinated with being a soldier and going to a war zone, and yet this game totally changes that around and shows just how absolutely devastating war can be on the lives of people, and just what kind of situations that you can find yourself in when you're forced to survive because your city has just been completely torn down from the bottom up. It's an interesting problem, and it's one of those things where it's a kind of a sensitive topic, and I think the developers of this War of Mine just did an excellent job with capturing the mood and the tone and the sobriety of the topic, while also just putting the player in these situations that are just truly brutal. At certain points in this game, you have to decide if you're going to steal from people and leave them to die. You have to decide if you're going to kill other people during the conflict, and because everything feels so real, you actually feel the kind of the consequences and some of the emotions that accompany the choice, as opposed to just arbitrarily going through and deciding how you know, to play the game in the most optimized way, you actually stop to think about your choices, and there is this kind of interesting emotional impact. All right, so we have all these things that we can make. I want to say we made the crude stove, I think. We just placed that upstairs. While I was chatting away, what we need to do is let's make the metal workshop. The metal workshop's pretty important. You don't start with one, so let's get that going. Yeah, it looks like we did make the food spot, which is good. Zlata, she bolsters spirits. I was just accepted to the music academy when the war broke out. I used to play the guitar, date boys, dance, etc. My little brother Tatey always made me smile. It all seems a dream now, replaced by this nightmare we live in, yet I still hope one day we can forget the war and carry on with our lives as if it had never happened. So she's actually a pretty interesting character for the group, because if you leave her here, if you build her a guitar or buy her one, or trade for one, you can get where is this guy going? I thought I told you to go open this door up here, Antone. What's up with that? Antone is the good mathematician. Antone, I believe, I can't remember what he does, but he has some sort of really good effect that helps with the stability of your group. Something about saving resources. Maybe he's really good at growing things. I can't remember. I'd have to look that up. If we do actually decide to do a full-on series of this, we will dive into all the ins and outs of each character, and you know, we'll probably play random like this again, since I feel like that's always a pretty interesting way to do it. Zlata, let's get you to check out what's in. We don't have enough tools. Okay. Let's see if we need anything else crucial. I think we need to build a second bed, because we have 4 people already. Some games you start off with 3, but with 4 people that means we're going to need extra beds and extra food. So let's go ahead and make one more bed. We can place this, can we put this up here? Yes. Yes, we can. Let's go ahead and put that upstairs. Although, now I think about it, maybe we should have had beds at the bottom. Well, it's too late to worry about that now. Alright, so we're making beds. We've got a whole bunch of supplies that we have scavenged from the house. We do need to get a couple more lockpicks, but I want to make sure we don't miss anything important. It's going to drastically affect our ability to survive. We don't have enough parts for a simple heater just yet. We haven't made the chair and the radio. We don't need the chair or the radio just yet. We haven't done anything so drastic to destroy our mood. Let's go ahead and make the rainwater collector, just because we're gonna need this anyway. Normally I just kind of like stick this around here, because I don't know. I don't really know how to optimize the center. Like I said, if we do decide to do this, I haven't actually beaten this game. Let me make that clear. I did a run and I got about 30 days into it. It was amazing. It was brilliant. And then I formatted my computer without remembering to finish it, and well, now here we are. Since I am a frequent formatter of my computer, when my computer starts to run oddly, I'm like, all right, time to wipe everything and go home. We're gonna start all over from the very beginning. No problems for me, no problems for you. If there's something wrong with it, I'll just delete it and start over from a clean slate. I got no worries about that. So here we go. We are on to the night. So this is basically how it works. And at the nighttime, everybody has a different inventory capacity. We basically want to make sure that we are always able to take out Pavel or Zlata, because they have the space for it. Zlata, we are going to have guard. Actually, let's have her sleep. We'll have Anton guard. And we'll have Zlata guard too. They can sleep tomorrow. And then Pavel's going to scavenge. Zveta is going to sleep in the bed. And then here on the right side on the map, you can decide where you want to go. It gives you a little description of each place. For instance, the Quiet House. It's in a housing estate that remains almost untouched. It's a calm area of little houses with porches and gardens. Most of those houses are still inhabited. People are trying to lead normal lives there, and we've got nothing to look for there unless we are willing to steal. Now, there are lots of food, med, and parts there, but are we willing to steal? Well, I probably am as a person playing this game wanting to win, but if you go and you steal, you're going to have this negative psychological impact in your group. Some people are going to be really pissed. Some people won't mind. They'll be like, yeah, you know, we got to do what we got to do. But others, you know, if they get depressed, they can then tailwind into all sorts of consequences. Oh boy. If we're desperate, we can try and steal from these people at the ruined villa. The looted gas station was one of the very first places people looted. The station is in surprisingly decent shape. It may have been looted, but it might still be worth checking out. And in the old town, it's a little risky, it says. Let's go ahead and go to the looted gas station. We're going to take Pavel, and we're just basically going to grab everything that we possibly can, because early on, all that you absolutely need to do is just get the basics. It's about getting as many of these components as possible, parts and wood. Like, you just need enough so that you can build up the stuff in your house, and of course, prioritizing things like food, and the rest of it. So, yep, we're gonna take all the parts and components that we can find. I don't think there's anybody else here, which is good for right now. So, stuff like this, like weapon parts, electric parts are always important. Things like this, we can come back for, although quality roll-ups do make good, good trade fodder. It looks actually like we're not going to be able to get in here unless we dig through this. So you can build a shovel to dig through things like this, because you can see that we're making quite a bit of noise as we dig this out. Now, in some places, all of this noise is a really problematic thing if the place is under guard or if people think that you're stealing from them. But in cases like this where it's just us and everything seems kind of peaceful, we can go ahead and take the time. And yeah, so this is this war of mine. This game is one that I have spent a good chunk of time with, and I really enjoy this game. I think it would be really fun to do a playthrough of, and it's certainly one that I would play again and again and again. It's on my to-do list to play this. One of the reasons I've been putting it off to make personal time for it is just because when I met the developers for this at GDC last year, or this year rather, they mentioned to me that they're working on a version for iPad, because as you can see, you know, the interface is really clean, it's really simple, you know, there's not a lot going on, and it's got these nice, big, easy to understand icons, and I think it would translate over really well to iPad, and apparently so do the developers. So I've kind of been looking forward to that a little bit, and as such, not getting as into the game as I possibly could. But it looks like we've got some more supply points hiding about here. Is that another quality roll-up? It is. We'll take that. Thank you. Okay, I'm trying to be picky-choosy for now because I want to load up on parts or components. Uh-oh, it looks like there's something in here. We're gonna have to be a little bit quiet. Don't really need the sugar just yet. Oh, it looks like somebody's walking around over here. There's a note on the table not actually hidden, but it could be easily missed from the style of handwriting. You can tell it's written by a woman in a hurry. Milos, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I could not wait any longer. I hid some jewelry inside the books. Look for them in the basement, inside the carton boxes, behind the barred door. Use it, stay alive, please. God bless you, I'm sorry. Let's take a look over here. Okay, so not people, just rats. That's good, at least for now. Bandages, really, really valuable. Herbal meds, also pretty valuable. Let's go ahead and open this up. Again, as you can see, this little bubble around us glowing. That means it's making quite a bit of noise. But I don't think the rats are gonna mind. Don't know how to get to the basement, so let's go ahead and come up here. What's this? Oh boy. This poor man had been caught by the shelling. What was he doing here? Well, let's go through and just try to find what we can. Alright, so that's a lot more wood. Things like wood don't really go missing. Typically, it's the valuables that tend to go. The only big reason why we're prioritizing the components is because I need those to craft some of the other quintessentials for the shelter. Let's just check this out next. Now the nice thing about this is you can always come back the next day and try to pick up all of the things that you missed. However, the challenge with that is that if you wait too long and you don't go to a certain place in a certain number of days or time, the trouble is that other scavengers will come by and take the supplies at random, meaning that something that you decided to save until later, suddenly you've got, all of these people who rolled through and just took everything. So let's go ahead and just run to the exit. We're full. We can't fit anything else in our inventory, so we're going to come on back to the main shelter and see about building some more things that will help us survive. We'll see how the night went. So every night you have a chance to see what happened. This night was calm. Pavel had been searching for supplies and brought some interesting things. Excellent. And now we can see that the status of everybody has all changed. We've got people who are hungry and people who are tired. So let's go ahead and get some food made over here, and we can try and feed everybody. So we need to make some fire in order to do that, or some combustibles for the fire rather. Let's see, what does this require? Also need some filters. People are hungry, people are tired, and we got to make sure that we take care of all these people. So let's see if we can cook a nice big meal. We're missing vegetables to make something that's that good, but for now we can make some cooked food. Okay. Anton is tired, so we're gonna put him up there. And then we'll see about building out some of these other things. We need a simple heater, so let's go ahead and put this down here at the bottom. Makes sense. I grew up in a house where the heater was in the basement, so that's me. It makes the most sense to me. But I think that's actually going to use up most of our supplies. Now you can push your people pretty far to the limit. You can make them, hungry and tired. You can decide not to feed them all the time. And, I've read that there's strategies built around that, but it's I'm always hesitant to do things like that. I like to take care of my people as best as possible. I also like to put the chair out front, so like if somebody's tired, all the beds are taken, we can have somebody chill out over there. Alright. I really do need to put Pavel into a bed, though. He also needs to eat. Because if Pavel's our guy who's going out night after night, we need him to be in good spirits. I think. I don't know if that's a game mechanic. This is how I've always done it. There are some things I'm not sure, like, if it's an actual thing or if I'm just crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I guess we could just eat this, just plain. It's going to be a little gross, but whatever. Alright, Anton, I know you're hungry and tired, but I need you to get up so that Pavel can chill. See, his status has changed now from still hungry, from hungry to still hungry. At least Lata's just tired. We probably need to build another bed, but let's go ahead and end the day, and we'll do one more rush through. We'll have Zlata sleep in the bed, we'll have Pavel scavenge, we'll have Zveta guard, and we'll have Anton sleep. And then we're going to go back to the looted gas station just to play things safe and check everything out once more. Pick up all the things that we missed before other people get to it. It should still be pretty clear, so we're just going to run through this with reckless abandon, because sometimes that's what you have to do if you want to get everything. Yeah, getting everything. Oh, there's a fridge down here. That's awesome. Fridges often contain food. I don't know how I skipped that the first time. Fridges often contain food. So when you see a fridge, you want to beeline to the fridge, take all the stuff in the fridge so that you can put it in your fridge like all of this stuff. That's pretty fantastic. We're going to put that back. And the 1 cube of sugar. All right, cool. So that's good. We still need more wood to build up things, but it's not too bad. Electronic parts I never like to leave behind just because they're a finite resource. Put these coffee beans back, though. And let's see, I think there was some more fertilizer up here, so we're gonna try to quick stack some stuff. We gotta take some wood back, however. I kind of want to make a third bed just because it seemed like we could have really used one yesterday. Could be wrong. It's hard to tell sometimes. Oh, here, check this out. Let's see if I left anything good here. Nope, just wood. Let's take the wood and let's run to the exit. You were taking care of an old friend of yours. Okay. Was not expecting a person there. I guess he's friendly. That's cool. Alright, let's get out of here. Whew. Alright, let's see if anything happened during the night. Day number 2. This is part of why this game is so hard to put down, because you just go, let's just do one more day. We can scavenge. Then you get back and you're like, oh, I need to see what I can build into my shelter. Oh no, we've been raided. This is always bad. Someone came by. Someone tried to rob us. They didn't seem very determined, so they didn't do much harm, but we had no weapons. Sveta was wounded, but the attackers didn't steal anything, and we are able to defend ourselves. So Sveta is in really bad shape now. She's hungry, sick, slightly wounded, and tired. Let's go have her lay down. Zlata is hungry. She needs to eat. Anton is hungry. He needs to eat. And Pavel needs to go and chill. So Pavel, we're gonna have you go and lay down. And then we're gonna see about what everybody else is up to. So Zlata, let's see if you can't cook us up some grub. We do need some more of these. So you can burn books to make fuel, which I think is accurate. Let's go ahead and do that. I don't want to use up all of the wood. It's the world we live in where books are less important than fuel. It's like the other zombie apocalypse, where knowledge is no longer important because, well, it just ain't. I forget, can we get in here? If we can't, let's get in there. Alright, so let's make some double portions. And we are gonna have, oh, someone's at the door. So this is the last thing I hoped, actually. After this, after the trade portion, just so you get an idea of how trade works, we're gonna try some other stuff. So the way that trade works in this game is you have these traders that come by, and you can essentially swap things around. And what's really nice about this is, you know, if you put in an item like bandages, you'll see exactly what I need. I can give you a lot for this, because stuff like bandages is really valuable. And then what's sweet is you can stock up on all these really hard to carry items, like all of this wood, which is really cool. You just have to tweak it around this whole it won't do try harder thing, which means you basically tweak the amounts ever so slightly so you can get the most bang for your buck. So whenever the trader comes, I like to trade for all these like really core essentials that we need. Because some of these things that are a pain in the butt to collect are actually pretty cheap to the trader, which is really nice. So I'm gonna put all this stuff in here. We're gonna see. So like things like cigarettes, if you don't have a smoker, it's pretty good to trade. You can use that to pad out the value. Stuff like weapon parts, but jewelry, people like the jewelry portion. It definitely makes the trade value go up. The only thing you don't want to trade away are these electrical parts, since those are a finite resource. So let's just go ahead and kind of stack this up. We don't want to give away any food or fertilizer. We could do with giving away weapon parts, maybe. Or we can just say, you know what, this is all that we're willing to trade. Let's downsize the amount of lockpicks in here. And this guy. And then we can have ourselves a deal. So the thing that's really nice about this is that we now have a ton of the resources that we were missing that would have taken us days to collect just because of how much inventory space things like wood take up. So for instance, we can now come over here to our workbench, and now we have all this extra wood. We can easily build ourselves a bed. a third bed if we so chose to do so. We can also just straight up upgrade this. Oh, we're actually a couple parts short. Never mind. We could actually straight up upgrade this, but we're a few parts short. But you get the idea. It's, you know, good old inventory management at its finest. Just at a very different perspective and pace than most roguelikes. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I think you've gotten a good sense of what this war of mine is all about. I really, really do love this game. So if you guys are interested in seeing a playthrough of it, please let me know, as it would be an absolute joy to spend some more time with this game. And I would love to share that experience with all of you. But for now, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you next time for the next Raidhyn's Roguelike Roulette video of awesome and randomness.